How was the Halloween party?
It was good.
Yeah.
We even went out dancing afterwards.
Ooh. Bit of cha-cha-cha. Bit of foxtrot.
Lovely. That's always
I dressed up as a earless and tailless black cat without any makeup.
Right.
And then someone gave, because I figured someone would have the makeup. Then I got the makeup. Then I realized the sweater I wore I could tie around. Because it was mostly black and quite thin. I could twist it up and then tuck it into the back of my belt. And then it was just an earless cat.
Ah, just been too much, just fighting too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've had cat flu or something. It makes you lose your ears. I don't know.
And then on the way to the club, as we were leaving the person's house, there was sparkly cat ears that were just hanging somewhere, so I put those on. So then I was an actual cat.
Nice.
At the club. Except I put my sweater back on the walk. So then.
So you're a tailless cat.
Yeah.
It's a mangy cat.
That's basically it. There's a place I could go with that, but I'm just gonna leave well alone.
That's a good idea. That's a very good idea. And it's a good intro. Welcome to Tanked Up, the podcast about video games, craft beer, being cats on Halloween, and loads of other stuff in between.
So I think I've been thinking about this. And we gave up craft beer a while ago, and it seeps in every so often.
Okay, yes, possibly.
I think we should give up video games as well, and just say games, because we do talk about board games and whatnot sometimes.
Occasionally, yes.
And then we could talk about the
very
football.
occasional.
It'd be okay. Yeah, but just, it's also the logo says games and beer. So we've been
maybe it does, yeah,
ages. Yeah. So what I'm saying is anything. So what I'm saying is next week it's going to be Heineken and chess.
Yeah,
Heineken and chess week.
Yeah, or when United lose to City,
yeah,
just be Lucy and I fucking whinging about it.
No, man, that's sport. That's not game.
Singular game. Yeah. One game and beer. Well, we have multiple beers this week. We've got multiple games, but I don't know whether any of them are new. We may have some new ones. Who knows? We'll get there in a moment. But first, we're going to drink some beers. Aadil, I'm going to start with you this week. What are you kicking off with?
This one. Hercules. It is from Great Divide, brewed and canned by Great Divide in Denver, Colorado. Okay. It is a double IPA.
Oh,
it has
suits
no flavor to
Hercules.
But it does have, like, Hercules as a strongman at a fair, because there's a little Ferris wheel. It is 10%.
Nice.
Jeez. Starting off on that, are you?
A good DIPA.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wish it did say what the hops were and whatnot. You know, as a DIPA that's like super strength, it would be curious. But all I know is it's a 10% double IPA. And yes, I am starting off with that because I think I want to finish with the other one.
Okay.
Nice. Cool.
There's, I think, some lashings of Citra just off the nose. You know. Maybe a little Mosaic. It is as a American ale, an ale made by Americans is what I mean. It's got quite the frothy head.
Yeah, looks very coppery as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Almost reddish.
And it's slightly opaque at the bottom. You can see my finger, but it's still pretty cloudy.
Nice.
It's got that really in-your-face sort of
smell.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I've been on an off day. I did got no work done.
You think about it. And have a taste. We'll jump to Lucy. What are you drinking first, Lucy?
I am drinking a Beavertown and Firestone Walker collaboration, and it's called Clinging to Summer IPA. Because summer's over, I think we're not even going to bother cling to it anymore. But it's a 7.3% beer. Doesn't really have any flavour text. No, I think that's it. Just 7.3%. Typical, Beavertown art style with all the skeletal figures on it and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had Beavertown beer in ages. I just haven't seen them around. Maybe.
No, nor I.
Maybe it's because people are refusing to stock them. I don't know, which would be weird. Who knows? But I don't know. But yeah, I saw that. I think it was this and another one in my beer shop, and I was like, I haven't had Beavertown for a while. Pick it up.
Yeah,
definitely. It's not the first collaboration they've done with Firestone Walker, is it?
No.
I seem to remember we had one, maybe been this year as well.
Yeah, was it a
towards the
lager?
beginning of the year, possibly.
Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, I've definitely had that. Can't remember what it was. They all bleed into one nowadays, So the thing is,
Yes,
I can't
they do.
actually open it.
Is it too slippery?
Yeah.
Is it a bit too wet to pop?
Yeah, and the ring is just. And I don't have any nails, so.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
That's some solid audio. It almost sounded like one of the sound effects, like we folied it in. It was such a crisp popping of the tab.
Yes, we are Foley artists around these parts.
Hey, I've got one of those little audio desks just here, just pressing buttons. Just stick some canned laughter in every now and again.
But yeah, you could immediately smell just like such good citrusy, like tropical fruit flavors. Ooh, looking at it, it's very cloudy.
Yeah.
Probably darkish straw color. It's got a nice 1.5, 2 finger white frothy head.
Looks very, very frothy. You were saying, Aadil, about your sort of an American-made beer having that froth and that carbonation to it. I don't know whether it's just Lucy's the way she's poured, or maybe just how it's been sort of stored or shipped or whatever. It just seems to have given it a little bit of a frothier head than yours.
Perhaps. Yeah. It's a really good-looking beer.
Yeah. Nice. Whilst you drink, I will open mine. I'm going to drink, I don't know whether I think it's the summer still, but I'm going to drink from Unbarred. The SHSF #1. It's a single hop, single fruit series. This is grapefruit and Simcoe. Do we have flavour text? Only about the brewery itself, which I think we've read before, having had Unbarred before. Yes. This has got extra pale ale, wheat, oats and carapils. The yeast is New England, the hops are Simcoe, and fruit is grapefruit. It is, I think it was 7%. Yes, 7%.
That's a healthy percent.
Yes. And it's brewed at Missing Link, as a lot of Unbarred's beers are.
Right.
Yeah. Because I think I had the Unbarred. Was it 2 honey beers I had from them?
Yeah.
I'm just getting that on tap.
It was a honey beer, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed. I liked them both, but I remember there was one that I really, really liked because it didn't exactly taste like honey, so it didn't, follow through on that promise. But it was just an amazing juice bomb IPA, and it was really good.
Yeah. Nice. Well, this is sort of quite orangey in colour.
Yeah.
We had a nice range of colours this evening. Almost no head, a little bit of carbonation, but almost no head to it. And obviously, I'm getting just
grapefruit up the nose.
Grapefruit on there. Not kind of getting anything else. Not sure what the malts are doing, if anything, in the nose. Probably not. Just a lot of grapefruit coming from that.
Well, I don't know.
So I shall taste it in a moment. But Aadil, we'll come back to you as you've had some time.
It's creamier than I would have thought. It is very. It's a proper American IPA in that it's aggressively hoppy. Leaves a long bitter taste. It's very citrusy, and a little piney, I want to say. But what's interesting is there's an undertone from basically as soon as you get over the creamy texture and the actual taste kicks in, there's just this lovely undertone of biscuitiness to offset the hops up until the end of the finish. Yeah.
So well balanced.
Yeah, it's very well balanced. So it's like biscuity, citrus, and then the pine sort of comes in when the citrus starts to get quite bitter. The pine sort of comes in at the end. Like I said, it has that creamy texture. It does, because it's so bitter though. It dries the mouth out. I'm reaching for it just so that I don't have to sit with that dry taste in my mouth. It's not like super strong bitter, but it lasts a long time.
Yeah.
So, that coupled with the drying the mouth is making me reach for smaller sips more often.
Yeah.
But it's really good. I wasn't expecting that malt balance with the hops. So it's like the hops are super strong, but that biscuity maltness is also sort of medium strong. So it's still like an aggressive hoppy beer, but because there's something else also pretty strong tasting, for the majority of the taste, you're like, wow, this tastes really good and balanced. And then when the maltiness sort of slows down, then you're like, oh, right, this is super in-your-face hoppy. It kind of tricks you by just sort of kind of like you're watching television and you're in the commercial break and they've normalized everything just to be super loud. So you get used to that, and then you kick back in the program, and then it's like, oh, wait, this is what's going on. It's that kind of like, transition. Once the maltiness disappears, you're like, oh, right, this is kind of in your face.
Sounds very nice, though.
Yeah, it's really quite good.
How did you get your hands on that?
They Corksacautum they still have it in stock. I bought it for 2 episodes ago, and then didn't end up cracking it. And I was there today, and they still have cans of it. So
nice. So
there must be some UK distributor.
Yeah, I was wondering if it's ever made its way across the pond before.
I've never seen Great Divide, even in the Canada. So I don't know.
The Canada.
Where were they? Colorado.
Denver, Colorado.
Nice.
I'm
gonna keep my eyes out for that.
Yeah, new brewery.
So I can re-show you the can, just because it's quite spottable. But yeah,
sure.
I just saw it and I was like, that's interesting looking. Oh, I'll probably like it to some degree.
Nice. Doesn't give much away at all, the can either, does it?
No, like so part of the balance, I was kind of shocked by it because it's sort of nondescript, and I don't know anything about Great Divide, so I just didn't sort of had general craft brewery American something DIPA expectations. And like, there's this like a well-crafted balance.
Good.
Not some of like the sort of fairground ride roller coasters of trades off of taste, but just well balanced.
Good.
Nice. Lucy, your beer, Beavertown Firestone Walker, has it got an American hint to it with the Firestone Walkers getting involved?
I guess just from the hoppiness, there's a lot of hops in it. Speaking of well balanced, like this beer is just the same. It's really well balanced. It's very light as well, which you could probably say from the colour. Yeah, it's probably going to be quite a light tasting beer, but it is 7.3%. But you can't taste that alcohol at all. It feels like almost session strength. So
yeah,
it does bring back those like memories of just knocking back low 4% session strength beers one after one. You could definitely just knock this back in one go. But yeah, it starts off like quite citrusy, like kind of lychee, and orange like kind of flavors, and then a bit of lemon as well, and then you get like this nice piney bitterness at the end, which balances it off really nice. But yeah, it's a really good beer. I didn't expect to be blown away by it, and I'm not, but it's just a very well made, well crafted beer, and no complaints at all.
Good. Nice. Nice and concise too. The Unbarred SHSF #1, which is Grapefruit and Simcoe. I mean, you kick through with grapefruit straight away on the flavour, but it mellows to this slightly sweet maltiness that verges on that little bit of oatiness. So whether it's the oats and the carapils kind of working together to give a slight viscosity to it, not much at all. It's not thick. It's still nice and kind of and wet, but it's got just a little bit of body to it. and that slightly sweet oatiness coming through kind of at the end to allow that grapefruit to fade, and kick in a little bit of bitterness as well, works very nicely. This does, I mean, that sweetness could be the malts kicking through, but I think that maybe it's the alcohol just a little bit as well. I mean, it's only 7%, but whether that you know, let's say like a carapace or something has been used to add a little bit on top to kind of mask that alcoholness just there, just a little bit. I can't quite tell yet because it's just there. It's so sort of subtle. It's just kind of being picked out. You know, against kind of like the not sourness, but you know, against the grapefruit sort of flavour in the fore, to kind of move into that sweetness afterwards. So it is just noticeable, but very pleasant still. And it's kind of, as you say, Lucy, with yours, it's not kind of, you know, it's not blowing my head off. Yeah. But it's just a very nice, very pleasant beer, even with that sweetness and that slight, you know, slightly higher percentage. I think I could very easily reach for another one even now. I'm only you know, a little way through it. So
good.
We've
rounding
started
off the,
well,
rounding
very
off the
well.
Autumn coloured beers.
Yeah, yes. But maybe not autumn beers. However, I mean, don't seem to have gone for that this week.
As for like a DIPA, it's actually because of that creaminess. It gives it a bit more weight, along with the fact that it's a proper 10% DIPA.
Yeah.
So this actually feels kind of autumnal in the sense of like it's an IPA, but it's like I wouldn't necessarily reach for it at the height of summer, for example, because it's quite heavy in the alcohol and quite heavy in the texture. So it's actually, I thought I was doing what I did a few weeks ago, where it's like I want a spring in my step type beer, and I was like, oh, this actually sort of fits the like not the dregs of winter, you know, which had mid-teens, kind of dreary, kind of sunny.
Yes.
Definitely been dreary today.
Yeah, well,
I've barely opened my curtain, so I wouldn't know.
What have you been doing all day, Lucy?
I've been playing Red Dead all day.
Hooray!
Oh, Red Dead Revolver. I think I have that on the PlayStation 4. I think I might stream Red Dead Revolver actually this weekend. That'll be my new thing.
Do it. I'll tune in.
As everyone's like, wow, the graphics are really bad on your PlayStation. What's up with that?
It's slightly arcadey and schlocky as well. What's going on with this?
Oh god, and you're terrible with the controller.
You should do it though. Lucy, so how are you liking Red Dead?
It was last week we spoke about it.
It was, yes.
Days, I don't know what day it is. Yeah, my first thoughts on the game was, am I enjoying it? And then I started to grow to understand the pacing, the slow pacing, and the controls are clunky, but you get used to those. I'm now about 40 hours in, probably 47% of the way through the story, I think, and yeah, 40 hours, because I've just been spending so much time in like the world, and I've really truly grown to like really like this game. It's one of those few experiences that I have, you know, out of my gaming lifetime that actually just draw me into the world, and I want to poke like around every corner and see all there is to see. You know, I seldom get the time or the impetus to do that with most games. Probably things like Hollow Knight or Breath of the Wild last year, or going all the way back to like the older Rockstar games like Vice City and San Andreas. It's like it rarely happens for me, but this one, just the fact that I just want to play it from dawn till dusk every single day, it's just a testament to how excellently crafted the world is, and how every single time where you go like explore or just go off the beaten track, you're constantly rewarded by finding new and interesting things that I won't spoil, but you know, there's always little scenarios, there's always little like dioramas of like I go into this house and you piece together what happened, and
yeah,
someone crafted that, and it's like, well, many people crafted that over, you know, tons of hours and stuff like that, and it's like the amount of care and detail put into these things, and that, you know, make a story, and you can also, and it also leaves, you know, I think, you know, a bit of space to be interpreted in your own way, like what the hell actually happened here. It's not always clear cut, it's not always, you know, explained, and it's those little vignettes and that just make me want to just get lost in this world. I mean, the stories also, like, I'm not always compelled to go to the next story mission straight away, especially because that can trigger missing like side missions and stuff like that, optional side missions. So I'm not always going from story beat to story beat, but I'm still.
Oh, whose phone is doing that?
I don't know. I threw mine away and it's on airplane mode.
Oh,
I mean, my phone is just cycling from Wi-Fi, but I turned that off, so I didn't hear anything.
I suspect Kim stood on the other side of the wall with her mobile against the wall or something. She won't be. Sorry, Lucy.
No, it's alright. I was going on
interrupted by interference and me.
No, it's alright because I was just going on a tangent. So, like, what do I could speak for hours about this game, but I really don't know what you're thinking.
You know, as you've done, and as I kind of do in Red Dead, you kind of maybe start out with some kind of intention of where you want to go and think, actually, I will go and do a mission now. But something will happen on your way there that you'll suddenly just do something else or chat to somebody else. And there's so many little, as you say, vignettes to explore and interactions to have around the environment. And this is kind of like the big selling point that we kind of jumped on last week, that it's just so well made in its environmental storytelling, and the way it weaves in what seem very kind of natural scenarios for you to come across. And of course, they're all very deliberate and very crafted for you to find and engage in, but it feels natural. It feels like it's done very, very well.
And as you said, that's just a testament to like the level design. Like completely. Like you go somewhere, there's always something off in the distance that you want to see, and there are like plane markers. It's like, oh, we're gonna have a smoke trail up into the sky, so you can definitely go over there. But it's like wherever you are in that map, you always see something in your periphery, and just like I want to go do that. And I think
that kind of reminds me of Breath of the Wild.
Exactly, I was just about to say it's complete. It's absolutely the same, just the way that they tailor that game to, you know, be like, okay, I'm here up on this tower, I'm going to see a shrine over there and like a bokoblin camp over there, and it's like, and I'll probably get distracted a million times just in between going there, and it's, as you say, Ben, it's purely intentional, but it feels so absolutely natural, and that's just a testament to how good the level designers on this game were.
I'm so happy that we finally got to a point of open world games where the site markers are organic, not floating icons that you'll unlock by going up a mountain and throwing an eagle egg at the ground.
I mean, I rarely play open world games because A, lack of time, and B, they just don't interest me. Like Ubisoft open world games do not interest me at all whatsoever. So to find one,
how will you find out what happened to that one generation in time's descendant of the assassins who because apparently they're all related, but they're also from very different countries in a several 100-year period, 1,000-year now.
I don't think since maybe Assassin's Creed, the third 2 game, Revelations, did the real world protagonist die at the end of that one, or was that Assassin's Creed 3? I don't remember.
Desmond definitely died.
He did die, didn't he? And I think that kind of cut off the
they're still going on it
thing.
But don't they still have the modern day crap?
Yes,
they do. Yeah, they still have that.
They just grab another person.
Yeah, just random.
I mean, like you, hobo. You might be related to assassins.
In Origins, it was...
They need an offshoot where they kidnap a hobo and it's like Baker's Street, because 1200 years ago, his family were some of the best bakers. German bakers. We haven't been to Germany yet.
Isn't that what Overcooked is? They just stuck someone in a thing and they were
The
chefs.
point is that they can now steal genres and successful like clone games and just put their stupid fucking AI bullshit from the future thing in the front of it. So in order to play Overcooked, you have to spend 15 minutes and a bunch of bullshit cutscenes wandering around a lab.
And then suddenly it kicks into the game. Yes, yes. At least Red Dead doesn't have any of that pretension to it, or kind of hidden, hidden agenda, but
dual plotline nonsense.
Yeah.
Posturing.
It doesn't need to. Yeah. The story's good enough as it is, you know. I love Arthur. Arthur's such a great character.
He is. We were saying earlier, Lucy. He's definitely surpassed John Marston for me.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I can't remember whether we said it last week or not, but I love the way that they're depicting John, as a member of the gang, the way he is kind of spoken to and spoken about, going from Red Dead Redemption, where he is the anti-hero. You kind of feel for him. You're in his boots. You're experiencing things as him and seeing the story from his eyes, and then suddenly to see him from a different perspective is absolutely brilliant. It's a really good way of revisiting a character and kind of
pre-visiting.
Yes. Okay. Jesus.
and it just builds context around I absolutely love Dutch. I think the voice actor, whoever he is, what a standout job! Like one of the best examples I can remember of brilliant voice acting in a game. It's tremendous, just like how he just encapsulates that kind of character, and just how he's trying to tell everyone that he's got everything under control, but he's just losing the plot completely. And it's like just the way his voice cracks when he's the group's under duress, or they're having to move camp again or something, stuff like that. It's just so good. Like, you never expect Rockstar to tell such a... I mean, they've always told good stories, but this is just on a completely different level compared to their previous work.
Yeah, completely. And as we were saying before, and as many kind of other podcasts and news outlets have kind of reported on, the working conditions and crunch and all of that, but you really can see the amount of time that has gone into this game, through its systems, through the world, through the way it looks, through the interactions. Absolutely everything screams production such value, high quality and high production value.
That's why it's even though it's heartbreaking just to hear those stories come out, it just makes me appreciate the game a million times more. Just knowing what people sacrificed just to make this game, it just makes it even more special.
But you could have taken
6
to 8 months more and made the same exact game and not been an asshole.
Absolutely, I completely agree. But it's just like,
I mean, this is the world we live in. It's just
but it was like the quote that one of the Hauser Brothers game where it gave, where it's like, oh, we want this, we don't want to break the immersion, we don't want gamers to realize that this is a game, we want and it's like, that just takes away everything that this game is. Like, I couldn't imagine playing a game and just think, oh, it just got churned out by a computer and that's it. Like playing the Obra Dinn, which we might speak about later, it's like knowing that was made by one guy.
Yeah,
that just makes it even more incredible. So
it's an odd thing, which I think it has to do with the fact that gaming went into the blockbuster model, much like movies did, and in film, most film goers don't really know what all the roles are, and they don't really think about. They might think about actors and directors, but nothing else. Below the line crew don't matter. And it's a big sort of black box, and that seems to be how it's accepted in sort of pop culture. And I feel like because games started entering in the same sort of paradigm of indie AAA blockbuster, that there's been no move to educate. It's just well, this is the model that we're trying to emulate, so
Yeah, and
if you're not the voice actor, well, but it makes even less sense because like the voice actors do so little in comparison to like even just like the leads. But like you might hear about like a kind of a director, but like the main like even the main people behind games we don't hear much from unless they're like Stephen Molyneux or someone else, like some except for a very yes, right. Exactly. Thank you.
Case in point, you just proved your own argument. Yeah, it's like I just don't see games that way. It's like, could you like I don't know, picture Mario, and it's not like you don't immediately see Miyamoto. That would just
most people in the world will do that.
I know, yeah, and it's like they just don't know. But it's like that's why games just appear even more special to me because it's like I know you're aware of the work and the people who behind it. It's like. And that's a shame that I don't see that with movies. I couldn't even name you like half the directors of like even my favourite films. I don't know.
What are your favourite films? New game.
Jurassic Park.
Just gonna bang them off like that.
You know who directed Jurassic Park?
Some dude.
Are you kidding me?
I know.
A dude,
Spielberg. Yes, I know. Don't worry. But I'm just saying, like a lot of films that I like.
Keep going. We're gonna see how if your claim is accurate.
I can't remember who directed Die Hard. I just can't.
Oh shit! I should know this. Who did direct Die Hard?
Jerry Bruckheimer. I don't know. No. I can't remember. No. I can't remember, and that's what I'm saying.
It was probably Bruce Willis, wasn't it?
No, it was.
You see, I can't remember.
Forrest Gump was Zemeckis, by the way.
I know John Woo was Face Off.
Oh yeah, fucking right. You know John was. There's so many.
Absolutely.
But that's easy because there's a goddamn dove scene.
Yes. That film's so good.
That film's amazing.
That is definitely
Die Hard. John McTiernan.
Okay.
Sorry.
You see, but
yeah, I don't know. So I can't even remember what else he's done.
But we do get this as we've been sort of talking about. You do get this parallel with games now and with big sort of blockbusters because we had like news today that Tabata is leaving Square Enix.
Probably 20 years too late.
Well,
okay,
maybe. But all of the DLC that was coming for, or apart from the one that is the most that's going to come out soon, the rest of the remaining DLC that was to be developed for Final Fantasy 15. Is now just cancelled, and he leaves, and they just
to be honest,
scrap it.
Got a good run out of the DLC for that game. They got a good run, they got like 3 years worth of extra content on top of that game.
I still haven't
2 years or whatever.
Gone more than 20 minutes into that game, and that makes me sad.
It is definitely a hard open. Final Fantasy 15 is a hard open. It's you've kind of got to just bear with it for a little bit, which sucks. I mean, I fucking hate anything that you got to be like, well, this game's 30 to 40 hours long, so at least the first hour. Don't worry about that. You just get past the first hour.
Idea like percentages, like oh no, it's like 4% of the game is really slow, and then it picks up. Yeah, but it's an epic game, and I don't have that many hours.
Yeah,
percentages are not great.
I was just thinking about that, like, in terms of Red Dead. I hate when people say, oh, it's a really good game, you just have to get through the first 15 hours. I'm like, what? Excuse me? But that's Red Dead. It's like, yeah, you should.
But it is a good game, according to you,
but
right?
but
I'm sure Assassin's Creed Origins...
No.
Okay, no, but
I didn't feel like that about Red Dead at all. I didn't feel.
Do you know what would be a good movie? Sorry, game. Sorry, I interrupted you. Why don't you say your thing, then I'll say my stupid joke. It didn't.
That's right. You do joke. It's right. You do joke.
If it was Assassin's Creed, but with Ori, drunk with gin.
Fuck's sake.
That would be an interesting game. But don't taint Ori.
Like I said, a drunk Ori hobbling around and stabbing people in the back?
No. Ori's a sweet-natured spirit.
That's why it's good. It subverts expectations.
He wouldn't get drunk on gin.
Smashes back a bottle of Bombay Sapphire.
Oh, he would. Come on.
Moves on to the old London Beefeater.
Can you imagine that? That's the opening, like, cutscene.
Stabs everyone.
You expect it to probably make you cry, but in the second game, it's him just knocking that gin.
Yeah, because what happens is he stumbles upon a juniper bush. Right in the forest. He's in the forest. He finds a juniper bush. He meets a guy who's like, "What are you doing with that bush?" He's like, "I'm making a tasty drink made from the botanicals and the berries." And then he redistills his vodka with the berries and some other things. Just try it out. And then Ori's like, "Wow, this is great." And then his eyes go whoop, and then he stabs the motherfucker in the back because he's an assassin now. Great Ori.
I think Ori does have like a sword in like the second game, so you're not far off. The redemption of Ori
anyway,
from being an alcoholic to world savior.
Red Dead.
What was I saying about Red Dead? 15 hours. Yeah, I didn't feel with Red Dead that it was hard to kind of start. I thought that it kind of I thought that it put you with that whole
to sleep.
It was yes, it is slow, but that is the nature of the kind of the entire game. It's not like the first 10-20 minutes, first hour is slow, and the rest of it is packed.
You're just not. I just think I wasn't expecting that. You know, I was expecting a lot of gunslinging, this and that, just like fast-paced story, but it's not that at all.
So if you want that,
I appreciate
it. The new Overwatch character who is a cowboy with dynamite.
Oh, is he?
She. Ash.
Yeah.
Ash is a he.
Oh.
Cowgirl? Outlaw? Probably an outlaw.
Bandita?
Choice timing.
Oh, I think that was a very deliberate.
Yeah, very well played. Very well played.
Okay.
I mean,
especially
it's a
with the
medium
announcement
range...
of a mobile Diablo. You know, you gotta kind of balance those things out, haven't you?
It's a medium range with scope rifle character with a shotgun and a bomb that you can throw. I'm like, oh, it's like stats or like gameplay wise, it's the exact type of hero I'd want to play. I like scope, but I like running and gunning, so I hate snipers that are like on games like this where you have so little health if you try and run and gun because you have to actually play the sniper role.
Have you played her? Have you played Origins? Origins.
Overwatch.
Game
I own
about.
Overwatch.
Jesus Christ.
I think I may have installed it.
Okay.
You got that far. You got further than me. I played the demo.
I got it in a Humble Bundle earlier this year. Although I did play a couple rounds on the Xbox. But I also got Destiny 2 in a Humble Bundle like 3 months ago. And they've just announced they're giving it away for free on the PC to everyone with a Blizzard account. And I'm like, fuck you, Humble Bundle. And by that I mean, God, that sucks. That game I actually did 2 missions on since I got it for free is now more for free. Because technically it was part of my 12 quid a month or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You still paid some kind of money to have access to it.
And now I just have access to it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've hit the 3 O's of gaming, haven't we? Ori, Origins, and Overwatch. Can't think of any more O's.
Man, poor Kim.
The bigger
to round this Red Dead chat off. One final question, Aadil. Are you interested in picking it up? Is this something that you think would kind of, dissertation thrown out the window?
Oh fuck! If I didn't have a dissertation, I would have bought it by now.
Yeah.
I never finished Red Dead 1 though.
Okay.
Because I got it at a time similarly. So I got it when I was finishing my master's in Amsterdam. I had my Xbox 360, and I bought it on recommendation. And I really enjoyed fucking around and riding around, but I didn't really deal with I treated it like kind of like a GTA game where I was like, I have access to things. I'll just ride around and not worry about the plot. And then I was like, oh shit, I need to stop playing all my video games because I need to write my thesis.
Yeah, because it came out in May, didn't it? 2010. Which was in between uni years for me, so it's perfect.
Yeah, so for me it was, I bought it sort of on sale a couple years later. Because it didn't seem like I was kind of waiting for it to come out on PC. And it was like, this isn't going to happen. I'll buy it on the Xbox.
No, never did.
And then I never... After that, sort of like 1 month of sort of off and on poking at it, and then being like, "Shit, I need to pack." Like I literally unplugged the Xbox because I needed to write, and then it was on my shelf for ages. And actually, a couple months ago, I finally sold the Xbox 360 discs because I was like, "Never gonna play this because I'm trying to sell my Xbox One."
That's fair.
I just played games instead of doing anything at uni.
Yeah, it is sad though, because I really wanted to finish it because I heard such great things and my experience was really positive, and it wasn't like the plot bored me. I was just really just happy with the world, and one of the reasons why I'm super into trying it out now with the sequel is the world is even better. So I suspect I'll take my own goddamn sweet time with it because I did that with the previous iteration.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got like free listening time, it might be worth going on Waypoint's podcast feed, because they've just done 2 episodes on their playthroughs of Red Dead Redemption.
Spoilers?
And sorry,
spoilers?
I don't remember. I've only listened to the first one. Where they get up to a certain point in the game and stop talking about it. But I don't think anything was... I mean, nothing was spoiled for me, obviously, so I don't know whether I was paying that much attention to kind of the finer details of what they were talking about and things like that. It was more kind of their views on how it was constructed versus... versus the new version. So
yeah,
it still holds up. So I mean, I know you sold your Xbox, but it's backwards compatible. It still holds up.
Oh absolutely. Yeah, so I think I think it's available on the PS4.
Yeah, only through PS Now, I think.
Oh really? Oh, that's
you might be able to buy it on the store. It's just a PS3 game. I'm not sure.
I was gonna say, because I have Red Dead Revolver on the PS4 as a downloadable game.
PS2 classic game, something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I also have the what's the one based on the movie Rockstar game, early, The Warriors.
Yes.
Oh, Warriors is a great game.
I love it. Yeah.
Yep.
I was so happy. So when that came out on the PS Store, I was like, fantastic, because it's like I've only played a little with this at a friend's place because I've never had the right system at the right time, and this was like, oh, and this game is great. And the movie's great. I don't know who directed that either. I'm the worst.
I mean, the Warriors as a game goes in a lot of a lot of prequel stuff, doesn't it? That's kind of that happens. It's all the lead up to the beginning of the film, and then it kicks into stuff in the film.
Yeah.
But it gets the tone of that film. The game gets the tone of that film perfectly. And there's a few like obnoxious things that you've got to do, like spray painting and tagging and stuff that they've kind of thrown in, because you've got to do those extra bits in a game. But it just sort of like the way that the story progresses is really good, and the music is spot on to kind of match the tone of the film.
Very much.
The Warriors
so.
is brilliant. I'd play the Warriors over Red Dead Redemption.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. I mean, I love the film as well. So
I've never seen the film or played the game. I was playing State of Emergency around the time, which is good. I don't care what anyone says. Those games are really good.
That's fair. A good point to finish on. Go and play the Warriors and State of Emergency.
Yes.
I've already opened another beer.
Oh shit, man! I was waiting patiently.
Hankering for another one, so I've cracked open another beer. It's a much lower percentage, but it is a stout, and it is only 4.2%, but it is the Shadow Future that way from Good Chemistry Brewing. They've had a load of new beers coming into the shop. I say a load, 3 or maybe 4. But what does this one say? What do they say about Shadow Future?
Of the Colossus?
Yeah. This is a dry stout brewed with oats and rye. No frills, no fuss. This is a straightforward beer for when you need a little roast in your life. The beer suits 66% log fires, 73% a good book, and 52% roast dinners. I'm doing none of those at all. If you want to know the stats, the original gravity is 1.039. What's FG? I never remember. 1.007.
Final gravity.
Final gravity. Good.
I'm pretty sure.
And the IBUs are 39. As I say, it's 4.2%.
Cool. Very low for a stout.
Yeah.
Very low.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Was it 2 weeks ago you had a stout or something that was also quite low?
It was... Maybe. I don't
You
remember.
did, yeah, you did. It was like 4.2% or something like that.
It may, but yeah, probably exactly the same.
Yeah.
Lucy, I
Yes.
see a can in your hand.
Yes. I
What
poured
have you
myself a
opened?
Vimto.
Bloody hell!
What?
It's dark purple in colour, and it has, well, it started out with like a 2-finger, very pink, frothy head. It is...
Sorry. Can you just say that series of words again?
No. Absolutely not. You can rewind and listen to it again. It's a beer from Black Iris Brewery. It's called Hey Bay Bae.
Oh,
Nice.
clever.
Its first bay is BAY and the second bay is BAE. And it's a blackcurrant and bay leaf saison.
Oh,
Which, we're using bay leaf, and I thought you just use those for like garnishing.
Curries.
Yeah.
I put bay leaves in a fish pie the other day.
Very nice.
Is that a euphemism?
It was. No, it's not a euphemism.
Because those things have sharp edges. That's just that's some kink.
That's what I like.
got into you
Can't
today,
help
Aadil.
it. Can't help it.
But
Today,
it's got black currants, yes, every day. Black
Yeah,
currants,
there we go.
bay leaves, coriander seeds in this one, and it's 4%, 440ml can.
Nice.
also, there's definitely needs to be a meme where it's just a picture of a bay leaf or 2 bay leaves, and
Bay
then
day.
yeah, and and then the other one is like Beyonce like walking out of the room, bay leaves.
Oh no.
You've got Photoshop, make it happen.
I'm an ideas man.
Listeners, make it happen.
I guess
What are you drinking, ideas, man?
Ideas man is drinking this. It's a North Brewing and Boundary collaboration, the Baltic Porter. I don't think we've talked about.
No.
Yeah, it was like it was in the bottle shop. I'm like, oh shit, we've done a North collaboration recently. Don't think it's this one. So it is. Again, they do that thing where they don't say a lot. Well, there's a lot of like random text, but it's all because like there's just credits. So it's a Baltic Porter. It's 7%.
Has it got bits in it? Is there stuff there?
Yeah, there's nothing. It's 2 pants.
2
£2.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We like £2 beers.
Boundaries in Belfast. Which I find interesting.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so
I've had a few of their beers.
It's interesting that they call it like it's a Baltic Porter, and so I was hoping for some flavor text to figure out what makes it Baltic, because it's clearly not the origin of either of the collabs, right? But who knows? The ingredients are water, barley, hops, and yeast.
Okay. Is it the same as we had before, where we were trying to work out like what an international IPA was, or something like, you know, a beer style that they thrown the word international in front of?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, the IPA.
Yeah, and people had said like it's because they've used this ingredient, or it's been brewed in this certain way. So
I think the international IPA was literally like because they were taking all of the standard ingredients except were from different countries. And it was like
that would make more sense.
Yeah, like at least on that one, because we looked up what the brewer had said, and they're like, the hops are from here, the yeast is from here.
Yeah.
It is dark as fuck,
as you'd expect.
Yeah, I mean, but it's got it's sort of like almost no head on the pour. Like, I mean. I don't know if you can see there. You can. That's a little better. You can see that it's just like has a bit of a rim of a head, which usually happens in the glass, but there's just nothing on the actual center.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
so
sweet chocolatey nose. Slight. Smell the malts. Not super biscuity, but like just that malty sort of general tone in the nose, which usually is all you get on the nose from malts. We haven't talked about the taste of Lucy's, so why don't we move to that? Or do you have
before we do that, I just for you guys, myself, and the listeners, Baltic Porter. This is from Google. Well, it's actually from brewwiki.com. Baltic Porter is a very high alcohol, sweet, robust porter that originated in the Baltic states. Baltic Porter reflects both the character of original British porters and the character of sweeter, highly alcoholic Russian Imperial stouts.
Oh, it's a porter Russian Imperial stout. I mean that does explain the 7%.
Yeah.
Because I was about to say, it's like, you know, I thought it was just made called Baltic Porter because I thought they were just sending it to like the Baltic regions, you know, like Imperial stouts. Like they're Imperial stouts because they needed to ship them across, you know, hundreds of miles of sea, and that's why they're stronger in alcohol content to make the journey. So I was wondering if that was the same thing. Most of
the Baltic states are landlocked as well, so probably wouldn't be going across the sea.
I think she meant from here to there.
Yes.
Turns out we're not landlocked with the Baltic states.
That's true. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, that's interesting.
No man is an island, but the United Kingdom is definitely one of them. Also part of another one of them. Also bits of other ones.
The whole Earth is an island floating through dark.
No, island is defined by water, and there's no water on the edges of the Earth, so it's not an island.
All right, Mr. Scientist.
Oh man,
surely there is water on the edge of the Earth.
You mean the clouds?
The Earth is flat though, so that doesn't.
The water is the
Earth
name.
Is a globe, so it has one edge.
No, it has 4 edges because it's a square. It's flat.
Also, it's a disc.
6 edges, I suppose. It's a cube.
It's a cube. All right.
Yeah, the idea is
Earth theories.
The idea of an island isn't that there's a line of water on its edges. It's that it's surrounded by water, which itself is a region that's contiguous.
Lucy, how's your beer taste?
Yeah,
Space Island. From now on, planets are called Space Island. Are you happy now?
I like that. I much prefer that.
And you know what's weird? Pluto isn't a space island.
I was about to say, because then we can call Pluto Space Island.
I mean, we can also call the moon a space island.
It is.
And the sun's a space island.
The biggest.
No,
well, not the biggest.
To be
the
fair,
biggest in our solar system.
You do fly ships in space.
They're islands.
Ships.
They're moving islands.
Yeah, they're on the sea.
Yes. Actually,
point.
Take a step back. If you enter the Star Wars universe, they call the thing the Imperial Navy.
What similarities?
More sea things.
So, according to Star Wars canon, or Ion...
That's the best one tonight. Yes!
I'm glad you enjoyed that. So anyway, thingy. We were talking about Red Dead Redemption. Have you played Red Dead Redemption?
No, beers, Lucy. How does your beer taste?
No, Bread Dead. The game Bread Dead Redemption. It's a game. Anyway,
there
Lucy,
was I Am Bread. There was the game I Am Bread, but something different. It's very fruity. You're definitely getting the blackcurrant. In terms of a saison, you get that quite like prickly, like kind of fizzy and quality to it. The coriander seeds give it slightly herbal taste, which kind of align with like most saisons. It's quite vinous in quality. It very much errs that line between what is just a fizzy drink and what is a beer. So. In terms of picking up a saison, I probably wouldn't pick up this. Again, it's not offensive in any way. It's very it's very drinkable, but it just tastes like a fizzy fruit drink, which I'm not always a fan of. But it's alright. It's alright.
Okay,
it's alright.
That's fine. Sometimes we have these kind of beers, don't we? Someone tries something new, and it doesn't quite resonate with us.
Yeah, I don't know where the bay leaf is coming from. Maybe that's also making it taste slightly herby, and maybe that's helping along the coriander seeds. No.
Maybe it's again, it could be something in there just to balance out the coriander seeds, to maybe stop a slightly soapier kind of taste kicking in. They find that maybe bay leaves just pick that back up very slightly to make it
this isn't soapy.
more herbal.
This isn't soapy at all.
Because bay leaves aren't super strong, but they do give that
that's why it's like, just thought like mainly a bit of garnish, but yeah, it's not bad, but it's not blowing my socks off.
Okay.
Are you wearing socks?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
So it'd be impossible to blow them off at this point.
You strike me as someone who doesn't wear socks at home. I'm of the similar ilk.
Yeah, I don't really.
I take them off almost immediately.
Yeah, I don't. Good point.
Unless I'm at someone's house, in which case it feels weird to just take off some undergarments.
That's fair. That's fair. Good. The Shadow Future is a very good stout. It's doing kind of nothing. Nothing exciting.
That pause was just not well timed.
It's doing nothing. You're right. It wasn't. It's doing nothing different, I suppose. It's got no, big kind of caramelly or toffee flavors. It's just a very well roasted, very easy stout, and obviously it's 4.2%, so it's going down very quickly. But you're getting a slight coffee and chocolate kind of mix, leading into a kind of that roasted kind of nature to it. It's not super viscous. It's a little bit wet. Finishes, a little dry, possibly, but it's kind of, smell and flavor kind of link up very well. And it's kind of it's just a very easy drinking stout. And I had this out of the fridge. I put it in the fridge to chill it a little bit, but kept it out for about an hour. And it's probably, even now, it's probably just about the right kind of temperature to drink it. That it's just slightly chilled. So I wonder whether that's making it a little easier to go down as well. But it's sitting super well. It's just really good.
Excellent.
Good.
Really good without having to do
a whole lot.
Something. Yeah, exactly. Without having to do a whole lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, because I'm sure it was last week when you had the low percentage stat. It's like, 2 for 2. That's good.
I think it was 2 weeks ago, because I was around.
Right. Maybe it was 3 weeks in a row.
3 weeks in a row, yeah. Possibly.
But that's good, because it's like stouts always want that, like, at least 7%, like.
Yeah, you want that
creamy denseness and density and creaminess. Yeah. Just a nice big warm hug.
Warm, slightly below room temperature. Hug.
Well, if it's like 11%. Oh, which reminds me that I have I think it's my favourite beer of like the year so far. That and I think tied with the Lervig that was at your stout party the other day.
Oh yeah, I went to a stout evening.
Yeah, you should talk about that.
Got a little bit drunk.
I missed out because I slept in, and by that I mean I passed out on the couch. I'm like twiddling my thumbs, being like, I have 3 hours before I need to leave the house again, and then I passed out until much too late, and I felt like utter trash.
I think you messaged us just as we'd got there saying, I've woken up.
Yeah.
And there was only maybe an hour and a half left for it to be open. So.
And it would have taken an hour for me to get there. Because before we get on to that particular event, I'll just tell you about this Baltic Porter.
Yes. Sorry, it was the bearded lady from Magic Rock.
Right.
The dessert beer.
Yes.
That's really good. I've got that waiting around for
right.
£5 for 330 mils though.
Oof.
Absolutely worth it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm actually surprised. It's 7%. It's got much more viscosity. That sort of creamy texture. It's got these like really lovely, like soft dried fruit, like dried plum, prune, sort of the sweetness of the plum, but the dried sort of character.
Yes.
So I wouldn't say it's like pruny. I would say it's like a dried plum, if that makes sense, given that we're dicing up tastes. Right at the end of the taste, it just has this sweet character. It's
you usually have
chocolatey.
that with Baltic Porters. You have that kind of plum like fruitiness.
Yeah,
balance with the chocolate. I found that a lot of that.
Yeah, the chocolate's actually lighter than I would have suspected. It has to do with like it's only slightly sweet on the front, and then it doesn't really last the sweetness. And coming through is like a very low roasted maltiness, but very light given that it's a porter. And then there's this like slight aniseed licorice flavor going on, but, like very delicately in there. Like I didn't notice it until for a while, but all that sort of wrapped up in this like sort of more substantial mouthfeel just makes it like not chewy, but like thank you. I'm glad you got there. It was but like just consumable in like a substantive way that we don't have beers usually have. Like it just has that character.
Does it like leave like a bit of sweetness on your tongue?
Yeah, and that sweetness is again sort of like those
sugar.
Yeah, a little bit of that plumminess. Maybe like raisiny, like non-sweetened raisins is probably what the end is. It's just a little bit of fruit, but mostly just sort of generic sweetness. And it's rounded by that like sort of low medium grade of just roasted malt. Again, because the malts aren't super strong, you're getting a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of touch of coffee, but not a lot because the malts are just sort of subdued, which I wasn't expecting. I thought that it would just be a lot more of a malty ball. It's really, really good. It makes me want to try other Baltic porters because it seems like seems like it's like a porter that's not super reliant on the malts and it has like a fruity sweetness going on.
Yeah, everything you just said just completely reminds me of my thoughts. I'm sure it was the Baltic Porter that I had. Might have been last week. I have to check Untapped. Tuesday 9. But absolutely all those qualities that you just described must just be something that comes with the style. But yeah, it's different. It's not just a porter. I think it has more depth than like your average
I think it might not even be depth. It might actually be breadth, like taking in these like fruity sweetness notes. Like I'm sure some of them do have depth, but it's actually just like it's adding to the general the porter schema. So like it's just more things going on to start, and then whether they go deep or not is a different question. Not
nothing that's better, like quantifiably better, just more as you say, more things going on, more things to balance.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. Just to finish off the chat about these beers, this Shadow Future, the more I drink it, the more I can. It's becoming a little bit more complex the more I drink, and the rye is starting to kind of kick in a little bit to give a slightly. I mean, it's not spiced, but that's kind of the word that comes to mind. I'm not sure how else to kind of describe it. There's this kind of slight spiciness, slight warmth sort of towards the end of the flavour, and it kind of sits up there with that kind of very roasted, almost smoky kind of nature to it as well. And it just kind of gives it just that little bit extra. I'm saying this is kind of like a no-frills beer almost, but it does have a few different levels to what it's doing, and that roastedness kind of moves into that smokiness, which then moves into a slightly warm kind of almost. It's not quite spiced, but I can't quite pick the word out that I want.
Right.
That kind of describes that better than spiced currently. But it's building very nicely. The more I drink, and I suppose I say that I'm maybe a third of the bottle down currently, so taking a little bit of time to kick in. But then I'm full of grapefruit, so
That being said, I've been able to just like completely polish off the one that I've been drinking. I don't even know how that's happened. It's like I've got that much left.
In the time that we've just talked about it.
Yeah, I didn't even realise myself drinking it. Maybe it's better than I thought. Like, just one of those. It's just very easy to drink.
Just so dry. Yeah, you have to go back to it instantly.
So one of the nice things about the Baltic Porter with Boundary from North is that it leaves you wet and not bitter, kind of sweet. So like, I have like none of the standard indicators to sort of push you towards another sipper there, except do I want to taste this again?
Yeah.
Like everything is set up for me to sip this and enjoy it and slowly drink it. While the last beer I had was very much like so sort of dry and bitter. It was like kind of need another sip now. Yeah, mine's gone. Don't know how that happened. You did have a third beer.
I did, but sort of that. That was a 9%.
So in that case,
hit the desk.
Yeah.
Ben, have you talked about the taste of your beer? Yes, you have.
Yes, I have. But so I do want to talk about. I do want to talk about a game.
Oh, I was going to ask you about the night I missed, so I could.
The Stout Night. Yes, me and Alex Malpass went down to Stout Night at Bottles and Books.
Co-founder of Tanked Up, Alex Malpass.
Yes, former founder of Tanked Up, Alex Malpass.
He's still
he's still the founder. He's not a former founder. That's right. Yeah. Former host, founder, and former host. We went down, and Bottles and Books had on 5 Imperial Stouts. I can't remember the first one. Like, I just cannot remember it at all.
I mean, it happens.
It does. It does. It was nice.
Everyone's favorite adjective.
Kind of. It was. Yeah. But I mean, it was pleasant. It was pleasant enough. But the ones we had after that, and it was only about 10%. I think I tried to start on the lowest percentage and kind of work my way up. So the next one that I had was from. I don't know whether it's Keys or Kes. It's K-E-E-S.
I always call it Brewery Keys.
Brewery Keys is what I thought it was.
Probably saying it wrong. It's probably it's probably a silent K or something.
Oh, it's probably an acronym.
Likely, yeah. I mean, that was
K stand for keys or K's?
Keys.
It's probably
that was a nice stout. It was very easy to kind of drink. It had a little bit of it was whiskey. I think that was the one that was whiskey barrel aged.
Oh, nice.
So the one that was whiskey barrel aged. But maybe it was a bit too much whiskey.
Yes.
And alongside that,
that's why you can't remember.
Not enough woodiness. Yeah, probably. Alongside that, I think Alex had the Lervig.
Yes.
Is it with someone else? Is it a collaboration with somebody else?
I don't think it is. I think it's just.
Oh man, too many stouts. Just
yes.
Too many high percentage imperial stouts. Just
you did.
Basically, I drank 5 beers and they were fucking good.
You went on Untapped throughout the night though, so
I'm gonna check because I really want to give a shout out to.
I was gonna say
it's one of my favorites.
I'm pretty sure you did. You said you were.
So I didn't put the first one on.
Oh.
Which is why I don't remember what it is.
I was going to say, because that way, if you can't immediately recall, we could always just tell the listener untapped/user/tanked up or whatever the URL. But like, look for
Tanked Up podcast. So we had. Let's just go from the beginning. Here we go. The second one I had was the Kodiak Stout from Brew York, which was the whiskey barrel aged one.
Did they not have the Tonkoko Stout?
No.
That is their best one.
I thought was a bit too much licorice and a bit too much whiskey. I didn't rate that one at the time. I then had from the best one that I had was from Brewery Keys, which was the caramel fudge stout.
Oh, I remember you mentioning this on the our messenger chat, and I was like, God damn, that sounds so tasty. I'm so sad that I'm still in bed.
And alongside that, we also had from Northern Monk the Burundi Coffee Death Imperial Stout as well, which was nice. Not quite as coffee-y as kind of expected, I think. And then we didn't put on the other stout. I don't know why.
I'm trying to find it.
But
Why can't I find it?
we moved on to Colour Screen from Left-Handed Giant, an Imperial or a double IPA, 9% IPA, which is really good and stood up really well to all of the stouts. Really nice IPA, has some oats in there that came through quite a lot. That's why I'm just looking at my fucking, what I've said. Yeah. I'm probably fucked at this point. Looks more like a wheat beer. Imagine that's the oats. Made an impact after all the stout. That doesn't fucking say anything, does it, dickhead?
Hey.
My description is rubbish.
Don't be mean to my friend Ben. He was drunk.
It was drunk, yes.
But it sounds like a really good night, and it sounds like that's a thing that bottles and beer are gonna bottles and books. Yeah,
bottles and books, yeah. They, I think they're going to do another Imperial Stout night. They're having Unbarred in as well for a tap takeover and meet the brewer type event too.
Nice.
I wish they were better accessible for me by bus.
Yeah, it's quite good for me by bus.
Well,
it's the closest.
I was going to say, but that's just because you don't live in the city.
Yeah, that's true.
It happens to be up north of the city, so
yeah.
But there's no direct bus from my end of town, right?
Mm. Yeah, you got to get 2, I think, haven't you?
Yeah.
Try the if they have it, the honeycomb milkshake pale, because I really like that.
By whom? Sorry.
Unbarred.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the beer is called like from Lervig is called Sipping into Darkness.
Yes, that is the one. Yeah, that's the beer from Lervig. Yeah, which I didn't put on Untapped. Yeah.
Yeah, I had it at the Moseley Craft Beer Festival. It was, I mean, a lot of the beers there were like quite high strength. A lot of them were stouts, like 10, 11, 12%. The Lervig is 12%, but yeah, that's, if it's not my favourite beer of the year, it's tied with the Magic Rock Bearded Lady. So
nice,
yeah, really
nice.
good.
I think the Brewery Keys, the caramel fudge stout on the night just picked it for me. I think it was definitely the best beer of the night for me. It was lovely. It had a slight kind of smokiness to it. It had a lovely sweetness to it. It gave like the I assume it's kind of like the malts kicking in. It gave that kind of cakey kind of not flowery kind of flavour, but it just that kind of like sponge cake kind of flavour to it as well. So it had that caramel, it had a bit of a smoky kind of fudge to it, but it also had that kind of that slightly sweet, cakey flavour to it as well. And it being, what was it? I think it was called caramel fudge cake, and it fitted perfectly with the description. It seemed like it was exactly what they're going for, unless they made a beer and they went, oh, it tastes like caramel fudge cake, let's call it that. And I think for me that one just sat so well.
Nice.
Nice.
That yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about this game, Ben.
I'm not going to have enough time to kind of go into it really, because I've got a hard stop this evening. But I have started Return of the Obra Dinn, which listeners will have heard about before, with Lucy speaking about it 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago,
you were on the episode when yeah. So
and I own it, and I'm planning to play a little bit this weekend if I get enough work done. It's not weekend.
So let's leave a bigger chat about it till next weekend, because I think I don't know. It's a difficult game to kind of gauge how far through I am, because you can uncover how all of these people died, but still have no idea who they fucking are. Who is this man? He's a bowsman, or he's a midshipman, or I don't know what the fuck a midshipman is. I've got to constantly go back to the glossary to be like, who is what is a midshipman? Okay, that's a midshipman. Brilliant. And then, I'm moving through all of these different vignettes, and suddenly I'm in the rigging. I'm like, oh, I can definitely see how that guy died. Brilliant. Okay, what's he doing up here? Okay, I can see that. Yep. Who is he? Well, I don't know. I can't link him to any other scene in anywhere else. And it's such a good like detective game that you have to deduce so much from so little, but the clues are there. They're just so they're just so kind of littered around and subtle that, you know, this guy dies, but you don't know who he is until, you know, like 10 deaths time, when suddenly he appears again and is part of that scene. And someone may, you know, occasionally a name is said, and it may be that guy that was talking, because you don't have you know, you don't have a picture of the person and then text underneath them to say who is talking. You have a blank screen and then voice acting with just text on the screen, so you don't know who is saying what, which is very clever to allow that openness to it.
Having played it,
and you're done now, right?
Oh yeah, I finished it. I finished it over two days because I couldn't put it down. But just hearing you say this, I'm internally laughing because it's just like, oh Ben, it's like all the clues are there. I think the only thing, that Aadil, you posted a link to, is it Zero Punctuation?
Yeah.
His review of it.
Which, he's pretty hit and miss since 10 years ago.
Right, but I thought he made a good argument for this game, apart from him not liking the music, because the music is absolutely incredible. But he was saying that there was some guesswork, and there is some guesswork, but the only guesswork there is probably the Chinese.
That's exactly what he said. Although apparently you can decipher it. It's just the smallest detail in terms of that. But I did have to chop and change with them. But other than that, all the clues are there. So Ben, you saying who is this guy?
He also mentioned the only two female passengers, or there's three, but one of them is very obvious. The other two female passengers, and I basically kind of looked at the pictures and went, you know, one of them is a Miss something. And looking at these pictures, going, which one looks younger?
Yes.
Maybe.
But I think that's so historical context, right? Like
it is. I mean, it is, but there's also you then move through to a scene where actually one is protecting the other one, which then makes it quite apparent which one is which.
Yeah.
So because one's the mom.
No, it's two different women.
Well, then
not related.
Why are you saying one's a parent?
Hey, like me. I think it's a very odd one, because you feel that from the first few scenes, which involve kind of one character fighting off several characters, essentially, and quite an easy kind of lead-in almost to understanding who maybe 2 or 3 characters are, maybe just 2, but it then like takes the story in a complete direction that I wasn't even thinking, but has just kept me super intrigued. And like, suddenly the scene kicks in, like, fuck, what is this? What is going on?
Straight off the bat, and you're just like,
jeez,
okay. I didn't expect it to be this.
Yeah, and it's quite relentless in that sense as well, that you almost feel like you don't have time to take stock and breathe a little bit. That I mean, I've got a page, kind of, you know, an A4 page that's just full of like names and trying to chart scenes, and actually it's quite it's not convoluted, but the way it's presented is quite convoluted, that you kind of have to get your head around how that all works out. And
there is a point in the overall overall playthrough of the game where you do just, you know, hit a brick wall, and that's like a lot of it. I liken it to like a point and click. It's like you've got all the things in like your inventory, you're just missing out on what you have to do with it. And then as soon as you do that one thing, everything else starts clicking into place. Yeah,
completely.
The same with this game, and it's like that brick wall is just realizing how much depth there is to those scenes. And once you get past that brick wall, it's like, okay, you start piecing things together.
Yeah. One of the things that in the Zero Punctuation review, I'm literally writing about the nature of logic day in, day out. He calls it deductive inference, but it's clearly abductive inference.
You said 2 words that I don't know what they mean.
So deductive inference is like, it is clearly the case based purely on the statements. Abductive inference is like, it's most likely the case.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Inference to best explanation is what science is. It's abductive inference. And it seems to me what makes this game interesting is that it gives you clues that you have to make conclusions on, but you don't have the whole thing spelled out like you do in like the back and forth mechanics of adventure games. So what makes it super interesting is that it's abductive inference.
It's because it's like the game's giving you everything, but all the clues and everything's in the game, but it takes you as a person and having knowledge about
that's what I mean, right?
Other things like dialects, accents,
exactly. So
stuff
the reason
like
why it's abductive is because the clues it gives you doesn't say it's definitely this person. There's other things going on, and if you know those other things, so you could just abductively make guesswork, like it's probably this person.
Yeah.
But
it's not like
the rest of the world. Some of these might be deductive inferences if you know exactly what a midshipman is and it's not in the glossary or whatever. But like, it seems like it plays in exactly this difference of like some of it is sort of guesswork, but like grounded guesswork. That to me is what's exciting, because then otherwise you're just following an algorithm because the answer is somewhere. I just need to click on enough things.
Yeah.
So I give up on adventure games sometimes because like I don't care that I missed this thing. So why I didn't like the some of the later levels of Portal 2 were like that, right? It was just like explore the world until you find the spot, and then you throw the thing and you find the spot, and that's all.
Can't speak ill of Portal 2, not here. Not in my presence though.
But like, there was a fundamental difference between the two games, right? One was like it's in certain points in Portal 2, it was a hunt and peck game, which I disliked.
Anyway, moving on before I just
that.
Come down to Bristol and throttle you. This is very much like it's like sort of like The Witness, where it's like it's teaching you all the mechanics as you go on.
Right.
You don't need any like knowledge external to the game. Everything's internal, like everything.
Right.
Explained to you within the mechanics of that game. Whereas it's nice to be like, oh yes, I can think for myself. The game's just not leading me along. It's like, no, you actually have to know stuff, which the game's not going to say, tell you. It's not like I'm going to be like, go into a menu, here's an audio clip of someone who sounds Scottish. It's like, no, it's like you have to know that.
Exactly. I definitely misplaced or misnamed someone. And got from like, that is the guy. From looking at a scene, it looks like this is the person, and then a couple of scenes later, I'm like, no, definitely not him. This is that's him. This is definitely him. And suddenly, when I realised it was him, I placed him, and another death popped up, and then that clicked in with another 3 deaths. So suddenly I knew that those 3 had clicked in as well. Right. I think currently I've got 12 correct.
Okay.
I think it's
so you're 50 of the way. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'd say probably around maybe mid-30s. It's like, okay, who the hell are these people?
Yeah. I mean, because it presents a lot of people in certain scenes, but obviously you don't get any information on who they just happened to be there. You don't know who they are or why they were there. And then suddenly there's 2 completely different scenes in a different kind of chapter, a different part of a story that relate to that person. And them just being in that scene is not a red herring as such. That's just they were there as part of that action.
No, they were there for a reason. Like everyone, that's the thing about this game. Everyone is there for a reason. Everyone's in a certain position for a reason, standing next to this person or that person for a reason.
So this has to do with your idea of like, or your claim that once you understand the pure depth of the game, you
things click into place. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so when you're saying you'll figure it.
Yeah. We'll return to this game when you've had a little bit of a poke with it as well, Aadil.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully both of us can finish it before next episode. I don't imagine we have the time to be able to do so, but. At some point, we may have kind of like an all-access chat about this game.
I think we should, because it's one of the best games I've played this year.
I think maybe that should be one of our bonus episodes. By that,
Sunday night action.
Yeah. I mean, it's a thing we've talked about in the past, but like, it might be useful to think about like just an hour talking about the ins and outs of Game X.
Be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're very cautious and like we don't want to spoil it for each other, let alone people listening.
Yeah, but if it's
completely,
a separate thing that's just about spoilerificness, then I think that's fine.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
So I can tell you about all the things found in Reddit.
Exactly. Yes. Right. That's a good place to finish for this week. We'll round out, I think, our beers, and then actually let's smash through plugs first, super quickly. You can get me at
Whoa! You're not doing beers
Change
and
the
plugs.
format.
we're doing plugs
Don't
first.
change the format.
People listen to beers and then turn off.
No.
So
We want
@over_47
4 mats,
on
not 3 mats.
What?
Okay, he's Nova_47 bois on all of the things,
On things.
except all of the things because he's not bois at anything.
Exactly.
Yes.
We are
you
at
could-
tankedup_cast on Twitter, tankedupcast@gmail.com if you want to email. Go to outoflives.net to listen to other podcasts, read other articles, and generally hang out with us. Lucy, if people want to talk to you, how do they do so?
Juicy Loose 9 on Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, and Untapped.
Brilliant.
And at Tanked Up Lucy on Twitter. Yeah.
Nice. Yep. Aadil, if people want to talk to you, how do they do so?
Oh, go fuck off. I need to write my dissertation.
Yeah, don't talk to me. I'm busy.
Yeah, pretty much.
At the Omniarch on Instagram, Twitter.
All of the things?
Yeah,
All of the things?
I'm
Not
also,
Xbox anymore.
no. Well, I sold my Xbox, but I still have an Xbox account because that's what my Windows games are. So one of the reasons why I sold my Xbox was I still wanted to play Horizon, but I could do it
on the PC.
Horizon
but yeah,
on the PC.
Games Pass come to PC, so that's good news.
Yeah. I still have a PlayStation 4. I haven't turned it on for months. I might. I forgot to take Spider-Man off your hands.
Yes, I remember about an hour after you left. I'm like, oh, I didn't take Spider-Man.
Yeah, which sucks.
Did I talk about the missing last week, didn't I? Yeah, it's fine.
Yes.
Carry on.
Yeah, anyway.
It's like, stop the press after talking about it.
I will admit, I think I might try and play video games a little more in the next little while because I do need downtime from the dissertation. Now I'm trying to... I like had a week of clearly burning myself out, and I was like, oh, I need breaks. Oh, you know what I like doing in my breaks? Video games. Why am I not doing video games? No reason. Just I think they're bad because they're like just
because they're taking your time up.
Yeah, dissertation stress doesn't make sense, and I'd rather do that than watch more episodes of season 2 of Luke Cage because I'm already bored.
Oh, I got about 3 episodes in. Like,
I think I'm on 5 episodes in, and yeah.
I mean, it's no Daredevil season 3. That's awesome.
So the thing is, I'm trying to catch up.
So good.
And so, like, I've seen Jessica Jones season 2. All right,
that was awful. That was worse than probably Iron Fist, Luke Cage season 2, and everything else put together.
I didn't mind it. I
thought it was awful.
Let's talk about that next episode.
Yeah, sorry.
If you want, if you do want to hear some thoughts about Daredevil and whatnot, Marvel, Netflix stuff, Ben's written a couple articles on outoflives.net.
Yes,
that's the one.
Also, stay tuned. Later this week, we will release the first episode of the relaunch of This Next Act at the new location after the last bar closed for most of the summer. So yes, stay tuned for that if you want to laugh. There was some
bit of humor.
The first episode was great. It was a really great lineup, and it was Isaac, my buddy, who started the nights last night, and he has a killer set.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
A good thing to finish our plugs on. Thank you very much, sir. I should be
right, we still
I've enjoyed the other episodes. So
God damn it!
Yes.
You fucked everything up. I don't like this. I am on record saying I don't like plugs before beers.
Okay, that's fine. We'll start with you then. So you don't finish off. Out of the 2 beers you had, which did you prefer? 2 very different beers.
It's really tough. They're both really good. I've never had a Baltic Porter. I really like the balance. It's 7%. But the plum, fig, date sort of type of fruit, that sweetness really won me over. Never had a porter that wasn't like that, was just so sweet and like on the malty side, light but clearly a porter. Compared to the DIPA, which I think I might have to give it to the Great Divide's Hercules, not because I like DIPAs more than porters, but like there was something about that like biscuity undertone to a very strong DIPA that was very hoppy and as like a way that like when I first got into sort of craft or microbrew beer, it was like we're gonna be as hoppy as fuck, and you're just gonna have to deal with that. And it was like that level of hoppiness, but because the malts just are doing more things as well, just don't notice that it's that like level of hoppiness. And I've never had a beer that's been so like clearly hoppy, but in a way that it kind of tricks you because it's doing something else at the same time. And I found like honestly, it's very unique in that sense. So I think I have to give it to the Hercules, but also it's tight because I really enjoyed this porter. Like they're both fantastic beers. You can't go wrong with either.
So essentially, drink both beers.
Yeah. Usually I'd just cheat and say both.
But I'm not you, Lucy.
So Lucy,
it's a strict ordering.
Which did you prefer?
Yeah, it's a clear winner for me today. I mean, even though I somehow just polished off the Bay Bae from Black Iris, the clear winner is Clinging to Summer from Beavertown and Firestone. It's just a really well balanced IPA that it's really drinkable, even though it's like 7.4%. It's everything that you want from IPA, well balanced. It's citrusy and fruity at the start. It's very hoppy. It's got that nice bite from the bitterness at the end. It's just perfectly balanced. Really good, and definitely pick up another can of that.
Ooh. I don't think I haven't seen Beavertown, like as we said when you mentioned Beavertown, I haven't seen it down here for ages. Maybe a like an online purchase, possibly for a lot of people.
And if anyone's worrying about the quality of Beavertown, no need to. Still
that's good to know.
One of the best brewers in the country.
Good.
Excellent.
Good. So I'll finish then with the two beers that I had, which were the Unbarred single hop, single fruit series, grapefruit and Simcoe, which is the number 1 of the SHSF, and the Shadow Future from Good Chemistry. Both beers were doing something very specific. So the Shadow Future is kind of a very well made, kind of no nonsense, no big hit stout. It's very well made. It is, the more you drink it, the complexity kind of reveals itself to you. The Unbarred had a lovely kind of balance between that grapefruit and a little bit of that sweetness and oatiness from the malts as well that bled in. And I think between the two, I think I'm going to go for the Unbarred, just because the Shadow Future kind of unveiled itself, you know, the more I drank. So I got a third, close to a half through the bottle,
right,
and then the flavour kind of started to unravel a little bit. Whereas with the Unbarred, the flavour kind of unravelled within those first few sips. That it showed its well-balanced kind of complexity quite quickly. I mean, both of these I would have again, absolutely no doubt. And both of these I would have again kind of now, straight after. So, I mean, they're quite equal in those sorts of terms. The Shadow Future obviously being a little more light in the alcoholic percentage, I don't think makes much of a difference in terms of kind of like sessionable qualities, because the Unbarred kind of masks that 7% quite well.
Right.
So I think I'm going to go for the Unbarred this week.
Cool.
Nice. Cool.
So that was my prediction, just based on the fact that historically we've always identified grapefruit as a flavor.
Right.
And so something that is explicitly grapefruit seems like a slam dunk.
Rather than having to work against or try and work with something else. Yeah. It makes sense. It's good. I should be picking up more single hop, single fruit series beers from Unbarred.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that series. I wasn't familiar with it.
No, neither was I. Have a look out.
There we go. We all learn something new every day. And now we've already done plugs. I'm not really sure how to end the podcast.
Because you fucked with things. Thank you.
So all there is to do
is play Red Dead and leave.
Is play Red Dead. Yeah, or play more Obra Dinn.
Yes.
Or some
One
Obra
of
Dinn.
those. And
Or
say
some
goodbye.
Red Dead Revolver.
Yeah.
And stream it.
Yeah, fuck.
You.
Tube?
You.
Live.
Put in that way. Which way is he to you? He's that
I
way
was
to
gonna
me.
say.
He's that way to me.
I meant. Oh wait, does everyone have me in the far right?
You're in the middle.
Oh.
No, far left
On the
for me.
right.
Oh man, this is confusing. Anyway,
Far left for me and far left for the viewer watching us on YouTube because they see my screen rather than everybody else's.
we
don't exist.
Tanked up for one more week. And so the last thing we have to say is, ciao. No, Ben, you can't disappear before saying goodbye.
I said bye.
Sexual?